Go. Okay.
Okay.
Bye, I'm live. Hi, everybody. This is an impromptu, somewhat of an impromptu. It was a little bit thought out, but this is about a spiritual conversation that I want to have with a really beautiful soul friend of mine. It's like soul sister, and she's gonna log in at any moment. I'm waiting for her to log in. And we're gonna have these amazing conversations about synchronicity and love. Hi, Laura. And there she is. There is Cheryl. Here we go. Let's see. Give me 1 second, guys. Hi, Mom. I love you. My mama is in the house.
Hey!
Oh my god, I love this.
It works.
Oh my goodness. Give me one moment. All right. Well, I think we're good. We're good. Yay! So, Cheryl, how are you? How are you feeling right now?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic now that we're live and we're here talking to these lovely people and giving them some beautiful words of wisdom and love and encouragement. So
That's
tell me
good.
a little bit about you, Cheryl. Where are you from? Where are you located? Where do you live?
So I live in a town called Doncaster. It's in Yorkshire in the UK. So it's lovely up here. It's beautiful. There's lots of trees and mountains and lakes and such lovely places to walk around. And yeah, it's really nice.
Beautiful. And actually, you mentioned in our previous conversation, you mentioned that one of the downsides that even though where you live is so beautiful,
Mhm.
what would you consider the downside of living in up in the UK?
Because like where we live, there is no real community as such for what we do. So like self-love and abundance and the law of attraction, spirituality and everything like that, really. There is no community for that. Like we do have churches, but they're not on the same kind of level that we are. And the things that we want to do and express. So yeah,
Sure,
sucks a bit, but
sure.
hi,
Amazing. So
Anne.
right. Okay, so we're hi to people. Hi, Leanne. Um, anyway, I really want to talk about our connection. I really want to talk about how the universe brought us together because the way that the universe brought us together is really, really interesting. How did you find me?
So, like, I was in a bit of a place where I needed some help, and I knew I'd been on my journey for so long by myself, and I needed to reach out to people that could help me. And I kind of had some ideas of what I wanted to do, what I needed, but I had no idea. And then I was scrolling through Facebook one day, and then you just popped up on my feed. And I was just like, oh wow, like I really like I don't know, it was just kind of like I just felt like I needed to watch. And it was one of your webinars about like I can't remember. Oh, it was your hypnosis. So you were talking about hypnosis, and like then you start talking about your life within your webinar. And I was like, oh my God, like I can really link in with what she's saying. And like that wasn't like my life was like that. And it was a bit different, but I had the same kind of things. And for the first time ever, you gave me something that I thought, that is what I need. Like I need to do that because like if I do that, then I can help people. And that's what I really want to do. And for me, I'm the kind of person who feels like I need to have a qualification or something that maybe stamps telling me that I can do it or something. But then when I realized that like actually I can and I can do this, and you just resonated with me massively, on
And it's a
everything.
feeling. I really want to talk real quick about the feeling, that
Hmm.
impulse, right? Um, it's so important because we come across these pages of inspiration, or we come across people in our life, and at first we're like, and then after we're like,
Yeah.
that's our self-doubt, like, and then we don't take action.
Yeah.
I think one of the coolest things that you did was to take action. That's my mom.
Ah, hi, Mom.
My mom is in London. That's not fair. Hi, mommy. I love you. Um, okay, and so you actually, at that time, was just creating, when you and I got connected, when you found me on YouTube through the webinar. I was just creating the group. I was literally thinking of making this group more intimate. Actually, I was really thinking of making this group like very small, because I wanted to do like Q&A and just make it just very intimate for the people that
Mhm.
wanted to be in my program. But then I got this other idea that it's like, okay, you can still have an intimate group, but it can be a little bit bigger and it can be more support like. Um, how do you feel ever since you have been part of the group? Because you were one of the first people in the group.
Yeah, I love it. It feels safe. Safe is a big thing. For me, security was a massive thing, and being able to be who I am and what I know, and being able to share that. And like in the days when I just feel like, oh my God, like I've got a new thing where animals speaking to me, and I'm like, oh my God, who do I tell about this without them thinking I'm insane? So like the group is the perfect place. And I've seen as well that there's people in there that have problems, or that maybe have issues, or they've got questions and things they don't understand. And the support is amazing. There's women in there and men that want to share and help. My guides have found a brilliant way of being able to speak to people through there, because they're like, oh, let me give you advice, and then they go off on one, and I automatic write it. So
So,
it's
by the way, everybody, Cheryl is very, very gifted, and actually, that brings me, before we talk about your gifts, because it's something that I want to talk about. Because I noticed that the people that I work with is not only just women in distress. I work with people that are just really gifted, or they really just want to branch out and expand themselves, their brand, and they want to let go of those limiting beliefs. So before we talk about the good stuff, I want you to kind of talk to me about what were the things that you were struggling with, and how have I helped, and how has the group helped in this
so.
situation?
First thing that kind of drew me was the fact that I had all these blocks. Now I'm getting married next year, so financially things are just crazy. So, which we've been trying to save money and pay for things, and we got into a bit of a situation where something that I was getting, it was with the government, and they basically said I shouldn't have had it, which turned out to I owed them like £16,000, which was ridiculous. So I was just in a space where I was like, oh my God, like how am I ever going to pay that back? And it
Really
made me
scary.
ill. I was off work sick. I was so ill. Um, and I didn't know what to do. And thank you, by the way, Leanne. I was so ill, I just didn't know what to do. Um, so I started having to do self work at that point because I had to do something.
Yeah, like, there was no other way.
No, and so I started. I used EFT to work on the emotion and to let go, and found everything I could do to find a better feeling thought. And then I was just trying my best to just get through every day. And then it all started to work out. They've kind of turned around and said now, oh, I don't need to pay it back right now, which is super. Money started flowing in, and it's all been because when I met you, and we chatted about how I can help things, and obviously at the time it was like I was thinking about your course, and then I was kind of like, oh, how am I going to pay for that when I'm in this such financial situation? And then I just released it and was like, okay, like if it's gonna work, it'll work. Like I've been brought here for a reason. Whatever happens will happen. And actually, you ended up being able to help me through the YouTube channels and the free things, the group where there was conversations that were being had in the group or posts that related exactly to what I needed, which then helped me to release. Now, one of the major ones that really changed things for me was your inner child one that you've got on your YouTube,
Oh,
about connecting with your inner child, your true self, and
yes.
I knew
Yeah.
I needed to connect with my true self because I'd been going through this self-discovery for so long, but I never did anything about it. I never took the action to sort
Sure.
it, and to love
Well,
me.
the human being. Oh, I'm so sorry to interrupt you. Well, I was just gonna say that the human being, we're always so accustomed to just keep going forward and forward and
Mm,
forward and striving and keep struggling, keep going forward. But at the end, it's like, wait a second, we have to look back
yeah,
sometimes.
just stop and release it, let it go, because if you feel so bad towards something, if something makes you feel so bad where you are ill,
Or just
then
like wrong,
yeah, like you need to look at
or
it.
just wrong.
You need to stop and you need to look at it and you need to say to yourself, why, why do I feel like this? What do I need? What is this showing me? What is the lesson here? And as soon as you acknowledge it, then things can begin to change. And like for me, it was acknowledging that I had this issue that I needed to do something about. And then you came along, you were there, and then you gave me hope, which was the first instance, which was the first video about the your life and finding hypnotism and things like that, and that gave me hope. Then I connected with you, which then gave me further hope, and then I started to release blocks through watching things. So like I learned the inner child, and I started writing, and I released a ton of stuff from there. And then now things just keep getting better, and I can actually tell myself now, oh, every day things are getting better and better. Every day I am getting better and better. And it works. Every day it is. And it is getting
Yeah.
better every day.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so happy that I was able to do that for you, and that's why I wanted to create that group and this
Mhm.
group, and why we're talking about it, because there's so much really good information out there, and I feel like I didn't do anything. It was one of those things that it's just like, it's you let yourself be guided, and all I did was I did my work, and whoever wants to work with me, even further to tackle their blocks, because I always talk about it, like I love I love people so much, but if you're gonna work with me, you have to be ready to understand that you're here to release and let go and completely just let it all out. And if you're not ready for that yet, then there's the group.
Yeah,
There's my YouTube. And
yeah.
even then, that's still gonna help you. That's still that can still, everybody's in a different level of consciousness too, but it will help you. And
Mm.
that's so important. um I wanted to talk really quick about feeling in the flow. This seems to be right now. Yes, yes, Charlie. This seems to be right now, kind of like a topic of discussion. Um, we were talking the other day, because actually me and Cheryl, man, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. I don't want to give it away just yet. So we were talking the other day, and you were just telling me about you understanding why you were struggling so much.
Mm.
Like, can you please expand on finally understanding why the struggle was so important?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, like for me, I like it came out when I did the automatic writing with the about my inner child and I connected. But like I realized that like with my family, my dad, like I love him to pieces. But like I was always made to feel like as a child that if I asked for something, I only ever got the second best thing. Like I never got what I wanted. But then like I asked my guides about this, like what was this about? And they said, well, you were never specific enough. So when you asked your family for things, like for example, I wanted to go dancing. I loved dancing as a child. And
I
I asked my parents, I want to go dancing. And they did. They sent me dancing. But they sent me to the school dancing. So it was okay. It was all right. But it wasn't what I wanted. I wanted to go to the dance school around the corner. But I didn't ask my mum and dad for the dance school around the corner. I just said I want to go dancing. So that is what I got. And then my guides like just basically said to me, as a child, you were never specific, but you blamed them because they didn't give you what you wanted, but they
yeah.
did, but you were never specific enough. So my whole problem is never being
Uh-huh.
specific enough. um,
Well, that goes to show too how we. I'm sorry, you're saying so many things, and I'm just like, I want to grab onto these things because you're spitting out gems. This is how somebody on YouTube wrote me that. They're like, you're spitting out gems. So you're saying really awesome things because it's not only about being. It's yes, it's absolutely about being specific, but it's not only about that. It's like I just saw how we quickly, if we're not specific, we quickly turn it into blame, and then we become the victim.
Yep, yep. And like with my family, so like my money blocks like go back way back to my dad because my dad was never particularly great with money, and the conversations were always had around my family where part of my family have got money and the other side, my side, don't particularly have lots of it. But we're abundant in so many other ways now I can see. But it was kind of like there was always a divide because it was always like, oh, they're the family that haven't got the money, and so I heard from my auntie, my grandma that like my dad didn't have money, and that my mum married into a family that didn't have money, and so I was always aware of the lack of and always felt guilty about asking for money because it was always, oh no, we haven't got enough or we can't do it. And so that's now like what I took into my future. And I was doing the same with my children because I was having to say to them, oh no, I'm sorry, we haven't got enough money, I can't do it. And it was repeating old habits, old behaviors, that I now realize I can't carry my dad. You know, what my dad does with money is not my thing. I can't feel guilty for that. Um,
Yeah.
I can just change now. And then that's all I can do and release those blocks, let them go and work on releasing really. And then that was another thing for me. Like everyone always says, oh, release, release, release. It's like, yeah, okay, but how? I want to, but how do I do that?
Release and let go. Everyone
Mm,
says release and let go. Release
yeah.
and let go. Or forgive. I say forgive a lot. I'll admit it. But I also say it because it sounds quite difficult, and it kind of is. Like because we haven't been taught how to forgive. And and forgiving is really based on taking your power back and saying, okay, I no longer wish for this to just stir in my head, and I am opening way to how I feel so I can release this feeling. Like when we talk about, or when not just talk about, because it can become redundant sometimes talking about things, but when we really go to the core how it makes you feel, then you're allowing yourself to forgive, because forgive is
Yeah.
really a release, and I
Yeah.
no longer wish to do this. Yeah,
And it is,
like
and it's
like
like,
forgive. Uh-huh.
no, like, like what I found and what I learned like from you was being able to say to myself, it's okay. Like you may feel bad about that, or you may feel guilty about that, or you may feel shame. Shame is horrible, but shame. You may feel that, but it's okay. Like that you feel like that. Like it's okay. It's okay that you might feel that, but you can just let it go. The minute you accept it and say, do you know what? It's okay that I feel like that. I'm not a bad person. I'm just,
Yeah.
this happened, but it's okay. And it's done now and I've just got to let it go. And this, when you accept it, you can let it go, but you've got to kind of accept that you feel like that, if you know what I mean, because we push things back
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
time.
That's
And
Thank you for saying it that way, because that's exactly what I meant to say. And
mm,
we nobody speaks the exact same words and languages, but when you accept that that's how you feel, all of a sudden, even if it one of the hardest things, oh my God, I'm so happy that you said it that way. Wow, thank you so much. Because one of the biggest hurdles that I go through with clients, and one of the biggest, I believe, one of the biggest reasons why people don't seek out help from their inner child or past, is because they feel a certain shame, or they don't want to accept that, because we love our parents so much, but they don't, and so they don't want to accept that their parents did harm to them, you know, through their actions. And we are not talking about sexual abuse or physical abuse. We're mostly talking about even, you know, psychological abuse or just bad communication.
Yeah,
You know, it doesn't have to be abuse.
yeah, and it can be like, one thing I've really learned like over the years is that people can hurt you unintentionally. So they're
That's what
not
I meant.
wanting to do it, and they don't maliciously do it, and it's not like they would consciously know that they're doing it, but they
Yeah,
do it out of love, or they think they're protecting you, or it's just behaviors and habits that they have that as children you will just take on naturally because you're their children and you learn by example. So it's
exactly.
really done.
Exactly. And you know, a lot of my clients, when they come in, it's like they are very hesitant to talk about their parents and put them in a bad light, so to speak.
Hmm.
But I don't see it that way. I see it as, you know, nobody gives anybody a parenting book, you
No.
know. Oh, you're gonna have a baby? Here's the Bible, and here's the parenting book,
I wish.
you know. And you know what I mean? Like, nobody, there is no real parenting book out there. And actually, that makes me think, like, man, anybody who's going to be a parent, they've got to take some sort of parenting coaching classes, because
Yeah.
you
And
can only learn.
there is parenting using the law of attraction as well. There is such thing.
Yes,
Use it. It's
yes,
good.
yes, yes, yes. That honestly, that's what I was thinking about.
It's
um,
real. I was looking at
it's
it
real.
earlier. Yeah, because
It's real. And
my
what'd you
daughter
say?
is really, my daughter, my eldest,
She's
she's
really
really, yeah, she's really challenging. And some
love.
days I can be on a high and I'm all aligned and I'm in my vortex and it's all good. And then she argues with me and I'm just like, ah, and she can bring me down quickly. But I have to learn now the best way, because she's just expressing, she's a teenager, she has those emotions, and I've just got
That's
to
what it's gonna
learn,
be like. Yeah,
yeah, but I get back into my better feeling place, then I can have a conversation with her.
yeah.
And she needs to get into her better feeling place, and then we can have a conversation. But when neither of us are there, there's no point. There's no communication going on.
It's a timeout. It's a timeout for sure.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. There is no shame. I just want everybody to know, there is no shame in talking about how your parents' parenting affected you. One of the
Mm.
biggest things that, actually not one of the most important thing that I actually help people heal from is, well, their inner child and their abandonment issues. And a lot of times, abandonment issues don't really come from divorce, or physical abandonment. They really come from an emotional aspect. Like, daddy worked too much, mommy wasn't really there. And I come from that as well. Like, my mom, she's like, sometimes it's hard for her to even believe, and we have an amazing relationship, but she goes to me, she's like, you know, she's like, I give you everything. She's like, you had everything. Like, why were you so unhappy?
Mm.
And it's like, mom, you got to understand that you had post-traumatic stress disorder and you couldn't give me a hug. That's
Mm.
what I wanted. That's what I needed. And that was that fear of loneliness that manifests itself as you get older. And then everything starts to reflect back at you, the relationships, the money,
Mm.
I used to always be scared that I was going to lose my job. that is such an uncomfortable feeling, because as soon as I felt comfortable with a job or liked it, all of a sudden I became scared. I'm gonna lose it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's gonna leave me. And that's how love was for me as well. Like as soon as I fell in love, it's like, oh no, that person's gonna leave me. I have to fuck it
Yeah.
up because I have to win, you know.
It is, and like
Um,
for me as a child, it was always when something good happened, it left me. And so like I have here like what I wrote down, like when I did my automatic writing. So when I watched your video and I wrote with my left, and my child came through, and oh my God, it's like it made things so clear for me when I heard what she had to say. Now, when I first read this back to myself, I shared it with my cousin and I read it back to her, and I was in absolute tears. But I wasn't feeling the emotion. I was just letting it out. I was just letting it
yeah,
go. But I wasn't in it, if that makes sense. Like, I wasn't in the emotion
yeah,
myself.
yeah.
But like, for example, like you can hear it. I'll read it and you can hear it. Like you can hear the child.
Oh.
So
Um,
like the first
anything that you
thing,
want to say?
the first thing it said, I want to dance and sing and have fun. I don't want to be tired and I don't want to be hungry all the time. Um, then the next thing was, I'm very sad because I want to be loved. I want to care for something. I want it to care for me, but I get too angry all of the time. I hate my life now. Why did I have to make so many mistakes? Why couldn't I be perfect like the other girls in my class or rich like them? Why do I have to be born poor? All
Oh,
the girls laugh at me because I have crappy sports clothes and trainers. And when I danced, I was laughed at because I had a leotard where
oh,
they could see my pants. And like those things just really, really obviously resonated with me that I've held with me for so long. But like I always thought I was loved as a child. So but then I can kind of see why I had the impression of other things, and especially with the
yeah,
money and being poor. And I wasn't poor really. Like my family was, they had enough. We
yeah,
always had holidays and things like that. So, but it was just a perception as a child that I had. And I couldn't talk about it. I couldn't share it. I couldn't say to my
yeah.
mum and
So
dad,
you
like,
put
I
all
don't feel loved. And because my mum had postnatal depression, severe postnatal depression, and I had to go and live with my auntie, and my dad looked after me. Um, so I clearly didn't feel the love from my mum. Um, that she couldn't give me, she couldn't help it, but she couldn't.
you
And
couldn't help it.
yeah,
You couldn't
I
help
took
it.
that with me.
You want to hear some of mine?
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh my God, you I had it right here by me, so I'll take that as a good sign. Actually, hold on. Oh my God. Okay, so it's all like scribble scrabble,
Yeah, that's what
like
mine
that.
was like. Oh,
Yeah.
scribbly.
So I just want to say it really quick for anybody who's watching. We are going to be doing a live workshop, or I'll be doing. There it is. Oh man, they're much nicer. So I'm going to be doing a live workshop with everybody. And we're going to be talking about this and how to write this way so you can channel your inner self, inner child, that part of you that's asking for attention. So, oh my God, this is so true. So it starts with when I was little, I was really lost. I didn't know or understand anything. All I wanted was hugs and love. That's not really what I got. Instead, I got neglection um, most of the time and some love. Ironic enough, um, the woman that did love me very much was my grandmother, but I didn't appreciate her. She was so beautiful and lively, but I didn't like her because she liked to clean a lot and she was a little neurotic. I didn't it I didn't mean I did mean things to her like she like put my nails in her skin so she could leave me alone. So I was like, oh, that's something that I had to like do a lot of forgiveness.
Mm.
And but I was little, but I was like, I would be like, leave me alone. And then I would just like run. But she loved me so much. And that's something that I really had to, it took me more than 8 years to forgive myself.
Mm.
And the only part about myself that I found forgiveness was is that you were so little. Like, how could you
Yeah.
don't feel that way?
Yeah.
You were a kid. You were 5 years old. You were 4 years old. Like you don't know what you're doing. And the funny part about it is that my grandmother used to laugh. She would be like, oh yeah, this is what you want to do. And I was like, I don't want to clean, you know. And she never took anything that I did seriously. She just loved me. And so I don't. Oh my God. Oh, and then I started talking in Spanish, and then yeah, and then I call her, and then I say, I want you here, and I want to have fun with you. I have forgiven myself for the most part, but I think it will always hurt me a little bit, and I think it still does because I connect back to that part of myself, but I know that it's not me, you know, and that's where I feel like you find peace because
Yeah.
you say to yourself, I understand I did that. I see myself like outside of myself. Like I see as Iris, the little girl, and I say, you know, I'm so sorry that you went through that. I'm so sorry that you felt that way. But that's not who I am anymore, you know.
Yeah.
So that was really important. And I'll just skip over. Um, I sure hope mommy doesn't go soon. Okay, so oh my goodness, I had this fear, and I guess you still have it a little bit, but um, and it talks about like I feel like I'm waking up from all the years of loneliness and confusion. I sure hope mommy doesn't go soon like grandma. I love daddy so much. He's such an angel. I just want him to be happy. Please, God, make him happy. He deserves to find himself and be happiest he has ever been. So you know, but I love my brother so much. Too bad we didn't get along when we were youngest. Feels like a waste of time and energy. But he's so much better now. I wish him well. And then I said, as for my real dad, because I have a stepfather and that's my real father, but as for my real dad, I'm so happy I set him free now. Now that I came out, he couldn't have said it better. All of this happened because of destiny. Oh, that really released me when he said that.
Mm.
My father was very sociopathic and incredibly abusive, so that was really important. When he said that, he said, we chose this. And then I wrote, I sure hope he's fine too with his little baby son, my new brother or nephew brother. And I sure hope I can make my way through this world. It's sure not easy, but I will do my best. I want to continue to change people's lives so much more. It's so funny because as I'm reading it, it says, I want to be like Mr. Tony Robbins. I feel like I am like him. It's so cute. I feel like, I wonder, you know, this sounds like a 10-year-old.
Yeah, and they do. Like you can hear, like in mine, I can hear myself at like 8, like 7 or 8, and then I hear myself into like a teenager where I'm more sort of like
Yeah.
13, 14, where I'm saying like I hate my life and why does this have to happen to me? And then I go back to being like really young again, and like so you can hear it when you read it back to yourself. You can hear the different
Yeah.
children. Mm.
Oh, that's so cute.
But it's
And then
interesting. It's really,
what'd you say? Sorry.
it's really good because like we spoke yesterday, if you remember, because I had to ring you because my energy was just so high. And like I went out for after I spoke to you, I went out for a walk with my friend, and she was like, "Oh my God, like what have you been on today? Because you're talking like a child. Like what's going on?" And I really was like a child yesterday. I wanted to play and I wanted to be mischievous and I wanted to do things that I knew I shouldn't do because I was an adult and
Love,
I'm not allowed.
love,
But yeah,
love. We all deserve to act that way. Anyway, I think this was really awesome. And then I ended it with, I love you, God, your little girl, Iris. I
oh.
haven't read that in a while. That's so cute. So cute. It's like you have to give yourself the pat, that pat on your back, and it's so therapeutic. Um, well, I want to move forward, and I want to talk about your gifts. You
Yeah.
seem to be very gifted.
Mm.
Tell us your gifts.
So I seem to have a numerous things, but like from being very young, I've been able to connect to spirit and like use the law of attraction as well, which without realizing I was doing it. Um, but like I could ask for things, they would just appear, and I'd be like, oh, okay. And then like I used to want to watch something on the TV, and I used to really think about watching it, and then it used to come on the TV, and I used to be like, oh my God. Um, and then I started realizing I didn't like it because everything I was asking for was happening. So bad stuff too that I like I could see it and feel it first and then it would happen. So I was like, no, I don't want to be right anymore. I don't want to be right anymore. Like I want to be wrong. I don't want to be right. And then I actually realized what was going on when I got older is that I was seeing things. I was seeing them before they were happening. So that's what was going on. And then obviously I was using the law of attraction as well. But yeah, I am. So I'm like I can do psychic reads. And I'm a clairvoyant, so I see spirit, I hear them as well. I feel them quite a lot, so I'm an empath, so I can read a lot of energy. And I can feel people's energy. I know when people tell me lies, and I know when they've got secrets. Um, and
That's amazing.
animals, yeah, it's pretty cool. Like, but I'm like, it's very confusing as well because like when people are not telling me the truth, I know they're not telling me the truth, but I want to know why they're not telling me the truth, and then it makes me really
Yeah.
anxious because I know what I'm feeling and what I'm hearing are very different. So then it makes me really
Uh,
anxious.
I'm gonna cut you
Um,
off for a second. You know what happens to me? Um, I, and if you can give me any insight on that, it'll be amazing. I'm very good when people don't tell me the truth, but it's
mm,
after the connection is done. It's like when they
right.
walk away because like when they're talking to me, I'm all ears. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to understand, analyze, and relate. As soon as they walk away, I'm like,
Yeah.
that can't be.
That's because like you are reading energy, but because you're so connected in your head, you're consciously
Yes.
listening. So you're not listening to your energy and your like energy and your intuition because you're connected in your head instead. So you're
Yes. I'm
overriding it,
analyzing.
like if
I'm
that makes
putting
sense.
things in boxes, you can say, and I'm just
Mm.
like, as soon as they leave, I'm like, that was a lie.
Because Iris, you are what we call a logical analyzer. So you analyze everything before you do anything. That's why. But like it's a gift in its own way. But like the new gift I have, it's very new, so I'm still learning. But the animals are talking to me now. Now that I like that one, it's really good. But I've realized now that's like an expansion on what I already do. So like this is their new way of saying to me, okay, so we do readings for people, you can help people. Let's connect with your energy with nature. Let's talk to the animals as well because they have things to say. And they do have a lot to say.
Yeah.
They have a lot of wisdom for us because they're guides as well, like in their own way.
Yeah.
And they also want to communicate to us sometimes to tell us. So, like for example, like they tell me when there's a pain, or if they've had enough, they're tired and they're done, or if they want to do something differently, or they want me to tell their owners like, oh, do this. But then they can
I have
also
a
tell
question
me,
for you. I have a question for you, and I'm gonna do it because it keeps popping in my mind, so I have to do it. So I have a dog. Hold on. And this will be like the demonstration for people. I have this delicious bundle of joy. that I just adore with all my heart and soul. And honestly, it just ever since we started talking before that we went live, he was popping up in my head, and then you brought it up in my head. It keeps coming up in my head. He has skin allergies. I know that a lot of it is emotional, but I know it's environmental as well. As soon as the weather changed, his skin allergies got a lot better, but they're still there. You know, all I'm thinking is why? Like, why is he doing that? Like, he never really had that before he was with me. Look, he's about to start scratching because you
Okay,
see all
now
the
he has anxiety. He's got anxiety. So he gets worried when you leave, because he thinks you're not going to come home, because that's what happened to him with his mom. Like he didn't go home. She wasn't there. And so
yeah.
you're his mom, and now he's thinking, oh, hold on, when she goes, where's she going? What's she doing? Like, when is she coming home? I can't cope. I don't know what to do. What do I do? And this is like his
He's always
mindset
on
like
top
that.
of me.
Yeah, but his
Yeah.
his head is like that. His head is it's very noisy. So he's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So like all the time. So this is anxiety. It's his way of being like, oh, and when we get anxious, we do the same. We scratch, we itch, and that's what he's doing. So you just need to reassure him when you leave. You need to talk to him. So you need to tell him
Okay.
like, it's okay. You're okay. See, he's calm now. You're okay. I'm okay. I'm coming back. I'm going to be 2 hours and then I'll be home, I promise. And you'll find he'll stop because he's staying,
Yeah.
it's just, he doesn't know what to do when you
Awesome.
go.
Awesome. No, I do communicate with my animals, and for me that was just a confirmation because I see their behaviors, and I look at them, and oh my God, I had this whole conversation the other day in the carpet because he gets anxious. He wants my attention, so he goes and pees on the carpet. And
Ah,
it's so easy to get mad. It's so easy to be like, why'd you do that? But I remember seeing him and I was like, we need to have a conversation. And I had the most softest, most beautiful conversation with him. And I just told him, I was like, you don't need to do that. I'm here. I'm always going to be here. Like, can you please stop peeing in the carpet? He has never peed on the carpet since.
see,
Yeah.
communication is the key.
Communication is the key with everything.
Mm,
So that's really awesome. But I do get concerned because I, as a mom, you do everything you can for your child to be happy, healthy, everything.
hmm.
And I think this was just a confirmation that maybe my guys were telling me because it was like, this is bugging you, Iris. So might as well, have your friend that can confirm to you what's up with him. But it
Yeah.
just confirms to behavior, the way he is, and so yeah, I'm super happy to have him around.
Yeah, that's good.
And now he's sleeping.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, this, like I say, that's fairly new. It's really interesting. Because I can be walking and then all of a sudden I'm like, what? What's going on? And I swear the other day I walked out of my door and there was a pigeon and a squirrel and they looked like they were having a conversation. They were talking. And then they looked at me and was like, oh my God, I'm supposed to be a squirrel. I need to go. And then they just went back to do their
Ah,
own animal things. It was so bizarre. It's like, what the hell?
I
So
love
yeah,
that.
that's like magic. It's new and it's good. So yeah,
I love
and I channel as well, so that's good. Which obviously we've been talking about. We're gonna experiment
Yes,
in that. We're gonna have a few goes at this.
that's gonna be
Um,
our next project together for sure.
yeah. And they do. I channel, and please, guys, if anything from this, just please, like, just be mindful. I mean, we had this conversation, Iris, didn't we? That like with channeling, it is not something to be afraid of. It is not something that it takes a special skill, or where the person sits still and they can't move, or it's really not like that. Like channeling is such a natural thing, and it's where our guides can use our voice box to speak. They
Yeah.
can, like, so when I do it, my voice does change a lot, and my facial features apparently can change, so they can usually see my guide's features that can come across sometimes. But I am always in control of what I do. So like at any point, I can say, okay, I'm not channeling now, or I can come in and out of a conscious state when I'm channeling, so I can like converse with them at the same time as they're using me to speak. And like I can channel my guide, I can channel energy, any energy of any kind, really. It's really good. And like I said to you, like me and Iris are gonna have a go, because I wanted to link in with somebody who can really pull information from them, because I feel like
Mm-hmm.
my guides at the moment are wanting to share like a huge story with us about the world and what's going on and where we're heading,
Oh, we're
and
gonna
why
go in
things are
so much
happening. And
more.
yeah, and humanity has a lot of questions right now, which they can answer. So I want to link in with you so that you can start pulling those questions, and then, from them.
Amazing,
And yeah, so we're
amazing,
going to do that.
amazing.
But yeah,
Totally,
channeling's brilliant. I love it. And it's so, whenever I
totally.
channel as well, like I feel so energized afterwards. Like I could go and run a marathon. They give me so much energy. It never takes away from me.
That's
Ever.
feel when I'm done with a session
Mm.
with people. When I'm
And
done
that's
with a
when you
session,
know it's good.
because
Yeah.
yeah. So in hypnosis, by the way, for people that don't understand, hypnosis is not this trance. Kind of like when she's talking about channeling, trance channeling. Hypnosis is not this trance that you have no control of your life. It's just a deep meditation, and so I guide people by what I see in my, my mind's eye, my third
Hmm.
eye, my head. And when I'm done, I feel great.
Yeah,
Like
and
I literally feel really good.
it
Yeah.
does. I mean, like I kind of just want to share the difference as well between psychic and clairvoyance, because I think people don't always get that.
That was my next question. Please
Yeah.
explain the difference
Um,
between a psychic and a clairvoyant.
so like with a clairvoyant, obviously that means we see. So clairvoyancy comes from spirit. So it's a direct link from them to me. And it can be from loved ones, it can be from spirit themselves, so it can be from a guide or a source of some kind. And they want to share something. So they'll give me an image, or they'll talk to me about something that they want me to share. And it's very just straightforward, and it plays in my head like I can see it yesterday. They show me past lives, so sometimes it's something to do with past life, and we'll connect like that. But they're usually a message. Whereas psychic is you're reading the person's energy. So that's where you can see their future, or like certain parts of their future, or maybe decisions that they can make, or options that they have, or it's guiding the person. So it's that person directly, and you're working from their energy. Whereas, and it can be quite draining as a psychic, because you're working with your energy and their energy. So it kind of pulls on you a little. Whereas
Sure.
clairvoyance is straight from spirit, so it energizes you as you work, and it's just a natural flow. Whereas
Sure.
like with psychic, it's not. It's more of a work. It's more of an energy work. So it can be quite tiring for us as psychics, because they do drain on you a little. And
Sure.
obviously people
I've
do,
heard that
with
before.
all the best
Sure.
intentions, want psychic readings, and sometimes they think, oh, there's the answers, I need a psychic to tell me. And there is always things that we can't answer. And like, because as human beings and as spiritual beings, and also because we want to help people, we have boundaries, and some boundaries are, if they, some people want to know some really intimate things, like they want to know, like, oh, like, is my husband doing this, or like, am I going to have a baby, and is it going to be a boy or a girl? And they want to know direct questions, and there's some things that we just, we can't answer them, or maybe we can, but we don't. There's boundaries, like they're not
There's
things
a
that we need to
ethical
share. They're
line.
life experiences. So we can't interfere with life experiences, because, like, as we know, in life experiences there's lessons to be learned. So if we
Yeah.
interfere with them, then they're never going to learn that lesson, and
Yeah.
they won't have the experience of it, as
Yeah.
crappy as it might be.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
please just, when it comes to psychics, please from me, just don't ask those awkward questions because they're your life experiences. They are what you are going to learn from, and we can't
Yeah,
interfere with them. And it's not because we don't want to help or we don't care. And if obviously spirit guide us to something different, we'll share that with you. But we can't fix everything. And
yeah,
some things are not
absolutely.
there to be known, you know, you've just got to experience them. And I think that is the big thing that we face really. Well, I've come
Um,
across.
I think that everything you've been saying is going to be really helpful for a lot of people. Um, I want to talk about, and this is the last thing because I think we went a little over, but it's okay because I'm the same way. I'm like I love to talk about this. This is my realm, and I wanted somebody as gifted as you, but who also struggled, who also had their money
Mm,
blocks, who also had these things, and then having this connection that we have made with each other. I want to talk about the importance of a lot of people. I notice that a lot of people are looking for a psychic reading because they want a certain answer.
mm.
Like indirectly they want a certain answer. And thank you, babe. Big
Ah,
shout
you're
out to Laura.
welcome.
And we're looking for a certain answer, but then what I notice is that people fall short
Mm,
into making the change. So I kind of want to talk about the importance of healing yourself on an emotional level to
yeah,
change your situation.
yeah, and
And
it's true.
I think
Like,
that, well, we're
carry
talking at the
on.
same time. Well, I was just gonna say that reflected a lot on you as well,
Mm,
like wow, how you found me, like why you found me, because for you, like now that you've been telling me that you've been vibing so high and things are so much more clear, you needed to go through that process of of blurriness or
mm,
unclarity. I don't know if that's the word. But the thing is, what I really loved about what you said, which is about my latest video and my latest blog post, is you know you're always in the flow, because when you don't feel like you're in the flow, when you feel like you fall from grace, you're just in a healing cycle.
mm,
You're just facing something that you have to heal within yourself. And many times, instead of going into getting the help that we need, we just rather pay somebody to tell us a different
yeah,
outcome, or some people even go even further to do rituals and things that some of them can help for sure, but we know who we're talking about when we say that some people can take it to a whole other level, when
mm,
at the end of the day the answers are within you, the answers are from you. We are oneness, so you're gonna have people coming in and out of your life giving you answers and giving you things, but at the end of the day, it's like, what are you going to do with your emotional state that keeps repeating this pattern? You know?
yeah, and like that's one thing I learned is that because I started like searching for the answers before I was willing to do the work, and you can't get the answers until you do the work. Like the only way to get better, the only way to get out of it and to move through it and to make your life what you want. I mean, I know I am well on my way now to making a life that I want because I'm on the right path, because I had to take that healing stage first to then step onto my path. And since I've been on my path, everything is flowing to me. Like
Yeah.
it's so easy. And I'm in this heightened state of awe and magic, and I feel like I could create anything right now. But it's because I did the work first, and you must like nobody can give you the answers, nobody can fix it for you. Like all you're gonna do is just keep repeating the same patterns, and yeah, the
Yeah.
rituals and things like that might help for a little while, but you're still gonna go back there in maybe a slightly different way, but you're still gonna go back there. And
Yeah.
like we are there as mediums and spiritual guiders and everything that we do to help and to aid and to kind of show you a way, but we can't fix you, and we go through this as well. So like I think they kind of, some people don't realize that as spiritual guiders and whatever we do, like work coaching or hypnosis or whatever it is that we do as light workers, that they think that we've got it down and we know what we're doing, but we don't, you know, like we have to go through these things too. Like we have to grow, we have to learn, we have to release blocks, and we're onions. We are onions, and we have
I
layer
always say
after
that.
layer
You
after
took my
layer.
word. You took my
Yeah,
word.
sorry. But we are never done. Like there is
We're
always
never.
something new because we repeat it. We are forever growing, so we're forever going through a cycle. And every time we pick up stuff, and then we'll be like, oh God, yeah, we shouldn't have picked that up. We need to let that go. And then we'll do it again, and then it's, oh yeah, probably shouldn't have done that. Like, let's let that go. And you know, it's just part of the journey and the life and who we are. And I know we touched briefly on when we were talking before about past lives, and just briefly to put that in there because I do past life stuff as well. So like I do pick up readings from past lives that come through to me clairvoyantly a lot. I am also going
That's
to
your
start
latest thing
doing
with
some
Facebook,
live.
right?
Yeah, on my Facebook page, it's called Cheryl's Angels. I am actually going to start doing some live past life readings in there because I feel like past life at the moment is massive, and it really helps people to overcome things that happen in their life. So, because by looking back at something, we're looking at, okay, what was it we did then that's either hindering us now, or is there something that we did really well back then that can now help us in our new
Can
life? So there's lessons there. If they're showing you a past life, it's because there's a lesson there. Um,
Yeah.
and I find them really helpful at the moment. I mean, my partner, he's just been going through one where he's picking up about Rome lately, and he can see everything that's happening in his life. He doesn't know what to do with it. He just keeps telling me, "Oh my God, I feel like I'm there, and I'm seeing this, and I'm doing this," and but
That's
he's
a
got to learn something there. You know, I mean, we spoke to you about it, didn't we, briefly? But yeah, he's got to learn something on there. Oh, Laura, she can't add me apparently. Oh,
you're gonna
I'll
have to
check
check
that
your
out,
settings.
Laura. Yeah.
But I'm gonna give everybody. So we're gonna end this right now, and I'm just gonna give everybody information about how to reach us, how to become part of the group. So the Facebook group is called Universal Iris Abundance Society, and it's an amazing group. It's a close group, so it's meant to be more intimate. It's a very active group, guys. I love
Yeah,
how
get
everybody's
involved. It's amazing.
like it is everything that I ever wanted, like what I was thinking about this literally a month ago, and I'm just like, oh my, I'm like, how I'm gonna do this, how? But we have to stop asking ourselves how, and we have to say these two other magical words, which is show me.
Yes.
Show me how to do this. Show me what I need to do. Show me where I need to go. So I really started using the word show me, and all of a sudden I started getting amazing ideas, and that's how the group got started. So the group is very active, is very supportive. Universal Iris Abundance Society, and you have to answer some questions. I'm sorry if it struggles you to answer 3 questions, then maybe you're not ready. But it's really wonderful, and next week we will be doing a webinar workshop. I can't wait to deliver this to you guys. A lot of the things that we've talked about here, we're gonna kind of apply them, including the inner child letter, which is so important. And then what else? If you want to get in contact with Cheryl, it's apparently she cannot be added in Facebook, some settings, but she does have a Facebook page, and her page is Cheryl's Angels, and that is spelled with CHERYL' and then Angels. So you can find Cheryl there. And then as for me, if you guys want any more information about me, you can always visit universaliris.com or go to my Facebook page, Universal Iris. Don't forget to follow me on social media. I am very active on Instagram, and I like to, if you want to get to know me more on a personal level, Instagram is the place, because I'm really, really into photography and showing how amazing my life is, and it's not to brag, it's because I worked really fucking hard to do it.
And I
So,
love
and I love,
seeing it. I love it. It makes me happy when I
yeah,
can link in the day and I see your photos and I'm just like, oh, this is why I'm doing this because this is going to be my life too.
those photos are everything to me. And actually, something really amazing happened to me yesterday, Cheryl. So I was filming my video in You're Always in the Flow. I was
Mm.
filming my video, and as soon as I was done filming my video, and I talked about I talked about when I was in Ibiza, I actually left my professional camera in Ibiza, and I talked about it. And as soon as I was done with the video, somebody knocked on my door, and my camera was there. So my camera is right here as we speak, right next to me, looking beautiful as always. And I was able to see the photos from Ibiza, and I don't have like a whole lot, but you know what I really loved about the photos that I took is that I love to capture the essence of people
Mm.
and the essence of things. And I saw that a lot. And I saw the essence of myself as well. And I was just like, girl, you're something. You're something else, you know?
That's
And
amazing.
it's amazing. It's amazing. And so yeah, I will be sharing a lot of that as I share a lot of my stories. And anything else you want to add, Cheryl?
Like, I just quickly want to share like a success story that I had because I think success stories are so important because coming from a
Yes.
place where we need to like we want to manifest, especially money, and finding success stories that actually say, oh yeah, actually I did do this. So like when I sat down to myself after doing a lot of the work, so I did a lot of this releasing at this point, and I sat down and I said to my partner, right, okay, so for us to be able to get our wedding that we want, we needed extra £500 a month. That's what we need. So I was like, wouldn't it be nice if we had that? And we were just like, we were just like, wouldn't it be lovely? And if we had this, yeah, it would. Anyway, the very next day, I went to the bank. And when I got to the bank, they said to me, oh, you've got some money from a loan that you paid off that you've now got back. And I was like, oh, right, lovely. Went to have a look at the money, what it was, £500 exactly. And I was like, oh my God, that took a day, and it was there. So yeah, so that is a success story. And we are now well on our way to paying for our wedding. So high five. Yeah.
Congratulations.
It's so cool.
Oh,
So
well,
yeah,
I
end
want
on
to
a
share
happy.
a tiny story about forgiveness and how forgiveness can really open up your energy. So throughout my years, I've been told I've had to forgive several people, and one of those people was my father. So I forgave my father, and I felt like a big release, da da da. But lately, I had a really strong, and we talked about this. I had a really strong clairvoyant vision with my ex-boyfriend that this person may be coming back into my life, and so it was such a strong vision that I couldn't just ignore it. So the next day, coincidentally not, I saw my friend she's very psychic herself. She's a card reader and everything. But we weren't thinking about doing any witchy stuff. We just wanted to hang out and have a good time. But the but the conversation came up about the vision, and after contemplating whether we throw the cards or not, we did it. And one of the things that she said was, you know, first of all, this is going to be solved on a spiritual level, and the person that's going to solve it on a spiritual level is you, because you're connected that way. And second of all, you're going to have to ask for forgiveness. So now it was my turn to ask for forgiveness. And mind you, this is a relationship for like 11 years ago. And then and then she said, you know, this is going to help you a lot, and this is going to open the energies between both of you so much. And not only that, but this is going to help your business. This is going to create space for more abundance. That same day, I wrote him a very small, tiny letter, like 2 little paragraphs. I said many beautiful things, and I thanked them very much. And mind you, I think this person is my twin flame, but I had no idea. So it's not even about that at this point. Anyway, the whole point is that I wrote that because I am a fear junkie and I want to better myself. So guess what? I got to bend down and ask for forgiveness. So I wrote a apology letter for something that I did 11 years ago. And it's not something that I did, it's for how I behaved. And so immediately the next day, there's money in my account from some place that I should have never received money. And not only that, apparently I'm gonna get more money from that same store. That is insane. Like, and my friend yesterday, one of my best friends was visiting me yesterday, and he was like, yeah, but Iris, how was there money in your account? Like, did you apply? And I'm like, no, I didn't apply. He's like, that doesn't make any sense. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, do you understand who you're talking to? Like, nothing is a coincidence. What's wrong with you? And he's like, yeah, but like, that doesn't make sense, you know? So yeah, that was my that was my confirmation. Not a success story. That's a confirmation, because it wasn't really that much money, but it was money that wasn't there, you know? And I didn't apply for it, you know, and I was actually going to apply for it, and it was just some government benefit. And then it said that I didn't qualify. So, and then yesterday I looked it up again, and it said that I did qualify.
How cool. Oh, I love it. Because it comes to us in so many ways, expected ways and so many unexpected ways.
That's
so
pretty
many.
Awesome. So we have to keep the faith, and we have to, I think it really comes from us. We have to trust in ourselves.
Yeah, it is.
That what we're doing for us.
And it's not just, this is the thing, I think a lot of people think we need to have faith and trust in the universe and spirit and things, when actually it's
like it's outside of you.
Yeah, we're the antennae, it's us. Yeah.
It's you. The universe is you. It's not, like, that's the thing, like, people think faith, or you gotta have faith in God. No. The faith comes from you.
In you.
Oh, our God.
It's loving you. And if you show yourself love, and you show yourself worth, and you forgive yourself, and you treat yourself the best way possible, like, everything comes to you. It's so easily. And you've just got to connect with your true self. That's all it is. Like, connect with yourself, know who you are, trust yourself, and it works.
Absolutely. You know, when I was asking for forgiveness, I wasn't really doing it for him. I was doing it for me. It's literally all about you. Like, people have come up to me like, how do I get my ex back? And I'm like, it's about you, baby. And then when I tell them that, like, I'm like, you have to just give up the idea and love you. But he's gonna be with someone else. I'm like, that's what happened to me. And guess what happened? I love myself now.
And it's not fixing a situation, is it? It's not making things go away. It's making the feeling go away. So it's making the feeling better.
And makes your life better.
Yeah, and like, I got selfish because I want this wedding. I want the wedding of my dreams. I've dreamed about this for so long. So I want that wedding, and I'm like, I'm going to be selfish about it.
Yeah. Beautiful. Cheryl, thank you so much. And
thank you. Yeah, thanks for sharing. Love you. Bye.
Have a good evening.
You too. Bye.